Hey guys, Pete here. The Westworld hype is close to unbearable right now, so I decided to do an episode 9 trailer breakdown. It will contain spoilers for everything that's happened up to this point in the show, so if you aren't caught up, this video won't be for you. With that out of the way, let's get into it. There is a synopsis for episode 9 floating around the internet, which I'll read first. It goes like this. Dolores and Bernard reconnect with their pasts. Maeve makes a bold proposition to Hector. Teddy finds enlightenment at a price. So not a whole lot there, but there are a couple of interesting tidbits. Let's break down the trailer first and see how this stuff might fit in after that. The trailer starts out with William being carried in a chair by two soldiers. Dolores said they were a Union scouting party when they rode up at the end of last episode, but we also know Logan was with them, so they're definitely Confederados. It's like they're presenting him to the crowd of soldiers or presenting something to him as to make him watch. Either way, it doesn't look like a good spot for him. We hear Dolores say, "You told me to follow the maze, that it would bring me joy, but all I found is pain and terror." We see them wrestling with her, which could be in front of William, since we see him looking terrified. The last shot we get is Dolores looking up at someone with a combination of what looks like fear and anger in her eyes. Next we see Bernard with Maeve in the center. He asks, "What motivated your attack on Clementine?" When she doesn't answer, he says, "Let's jog your memory," and then she grabs his wrist. He's clearly shocked by what's happening, which means that she was probably in analysis mode when he asked the question. She then says, "We've been down this road before." It cuts away at that to a sequence that flashes out of darkness. We see Maeve holding and then shooting a shotgun, and a host standing next to Hector getting shot. In Ford's office, Bernard says, "You broke into my mind," and we hear Ford answer, "I built your mind." Then we see him get off a gurney, which could be when he was first built. It's not clear at all, but since he says "I built your mind" over top of it, it could be a flashback to then. We see the scene change from Ford's office to what looks like the cold storage area where Ford was drinking with Bill. We hear Bernard say, "What else have you hidden from me?" We get two flashes. One is of this hallway, which doesn't look familiar to me. It looks like it's from the past, and there is a body against the wall, but you can't make out who it is even when you zoom in. I have no idea where this is other than just guessing wildly, so let me know where you guys think it might be and who the person is. The second flash is of Teresa. After we see that, it cuts to Bernard sitting with his eyes closed, and then he jumps up suddenly. We hear Angela telling the man in black that the maze isn't meant for you. She says, "If you like games so much, why don't you try one of ours?" Then we hear the man in black say, "Wyatt, take me to him." While we see the doors opening at the white church, there's a person there. It looks like the man in black, at least as far as the hat, but there's no way to tell for sure because it's in silhouette. Then it starts to flash. There's only 2 episodes left, and we get a shot of Dolores running with a gun in her hand. In the next flash, we see fire in the background and what looks like Maeve and Hector getting it on. In the last shot, we see the Confederados dead on the ground with someone standing in the middle looking at the carnage. Based on the clothes, it looks like Logan to me, but you can't really tell for sure. I was reading something earlier and people seem to be torn, like some are convinced that it's William, so let me know what you guys think. At first glance I thought, okay, someone shot them up, but if you look closely, these guys have limbs hacked off. There's bottles of liquor laying next to them that aren't broken, so it doesn't look like there was an explosion or anything like that. It almost looks like something that Wyatt's men might have done, but that wouldn't line up with the current time frame theories. So what did we find out? Well, I think what is most striking for me is that Maeve gets out of the center. I mean, I guess it's a no-brainer that that would happen, but that was like an impenetrable complex before. It seems safe to say that she went there straight away. And then to have interactions with Hector, she must get out. I tried to go back through some of the old episodes to see if I could find Ford saying, "We've been down this road before" to Bernard, but I couldn't find one with a quick look. But what I'm thinking is that Maeve could rewrite the storylines for the other hosts. We know that. So why can't she do it to Bernard? Even if Ford uses verbal commands, there's no reason she wouldn't be able to find out what they were. I mean, she has admin access and can edit her own code. It seems like the possibilities for what she can do inside the system would be limitless. It's not clear by any means, but it looks like she could move right past him. This is interesting because since about the 4th episode, it looked like Arnold was going to be Ford's biggest adversary at the end of the season. Now I think Maeve could be a bigger problem. If she can control Bernard, is that what's making him confront Ford throughout the trailer? In the last episode, he erased his memories that might set them back in their work, but granted, he did see the flash of Elsie. I don't know if we're going to see an Arnold reveal, but I do know Maeve's going to cause problems. Bernard doesn't seem to be playing the role that Ford expects him to in what we see in the trailer, so it's likely there's a big conflict getting ready to happen between those two. When Bernard woke up after killing Teresa, he tried to attack Ford, who could easily freeze him. Maeve could obviously upset this balance, but I just don't know if that fits into her escape plan. Of course, if she did set that up that way, that would distract Ford from everything else, and that would be to her advantage. The synopsis says Maeve makes a bold proposition to Hector, which sounds like they'll team up to get out. I find the wording strange though, because she could just tell him what to do like she did with the other host in the last episode. I'm not sure why there has to be a proposition or like what he has to offer that would be so essential in her being able to complete her plan. It says that Dolores and Bernard reconnect with their past. If we see Bernard getting built and we hear Ford talk about building his mind, does this mean we'll find out what his origin actually is? In this timeline, the Man in Black is actually pushing the action by going after Wyatt. So what does that have to do with Bernard? If Wyatt's based on Arnold, could that story unlock the key to us understanding if Bernard is based off him? I'm skeptical at this point for the simple reason that there's only 2 episodes left. I'm not sure everything's going to get sorted by the end of season 1, although I wouldn't mind it. I think we'll know more about where things are headed before the finale. It says that Teddy will find enlightenment for a price. This is a little vague. Teddy's a latecomer to having the memories that he's starting to have, and to this point he hasn't really taken the Man in Black at his word about how things work in this world. This could be tied to the Man in Black saying that he was going to change the rules, or he knows how to change the rules, but it's a little vague. I don't really see what this means 100%. I mean, if the price is his life, then he's going to get reset. I don't think that it's saying that he's going to go through the maze all of a sudden and, you know, everything's going to work out for him. So I'm a little bit cautious as to just throw guesses out there on that one. As far as Dolores reconnecting with her past, I guess this is what I find to be the most interesting unknown. We hear her talking to Arnold, or who we think is Arnold, by saying that she went to the maze and all she found was pain and suffering or whatever. So this is actually, like I said, if we get more of that, if we get more of her memories like we saw in the last episode of the early days and what actually went wrong, that could be the most exciting reveal. Only I don't know if this is going to be one of those series where episode 9 is where the big thing happens and then in episode 10 they just sort of wrap it up, or if this is going to be like a 2-part finale where episode 9 is sort of like the first half and episode 10 is the second half. I mean, typically HBO shows sort of have their big blowout in the 9th episode, so there could be a big reveal as far as what's going on with her, but it's really just speculation at this time. I think what we're really going to see move forward is we're going to see Maeve put her plan into action. I think we'll see the Man in Black move forward. I don't think we're going to see him get to the end of that yet. And then I think everything else is too soon to call because we really don't know how they're going to structure the last 2 episodes. Let me know in the comments what you guys want to see, what you think's going to happen. Were you surprised to see Maeve out there with a shotgun in her hand? What do you think about all these guys that are like laying there with limbs cut off? I mean, that's a little bit crazy. And who is the person standing there? Like, Logan makes so much more sense to me, but let me know what you guys think. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe to my channel to keep up to date with all my latest videos. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon.